Step 5, the importance of a contract, right? Probably one of the most critical parts of the process because it binds you to the contractor that you're working with. So you want to make sure you're on level playing ground, right? So that it's not one-sided or tilted towards the contractor at any point in time. So the number one thing you want to make sure you have on the contract is all the spaces filled out, right? And kind of slash through things that could possibly be misunderstood. A good, clean contract will spell out specifics and have associate it to an addendum, right? So your scope of work is the addendum. That's an appendage to the contract, because a lot of times the work that's being referred to is not going to be spelled out line item by line item on a contract. It's going to be for a total. It's going to specify the color of the roof material, square count, specifics, but it's not going to go into full detail about certain things. So, aside from the dollar amount, which is obviously, super critical, just having the claim number attached to this document so that it is an appendage to the contract, right? And then going into the dollar amount, it's really important, guys, that you get that right, or that the contractor get that right, and you don't get taken for a ride in that little loophole. So if the scope of work, the RCV, like we talked about before, is for just, round numbers sake, $20,000, and you've got a $5,000 deductible, and they depreciate your claim by $5,000, right? So 20 minus 5 for your deductible, they're holding back $5,000 in depreciation. When you get your ACV check that comes typically, with or close to the same time as the scope of work that defines the work that needs to be completed that the insurance company is agreeing to pay for, that should be a $10,000 check, right? 20 minus 5 minus 5, 10, easy numbers. The contract should be for that 20. If it's not, here's where you become at risk. And a lot of contractors will, savvy but also a little unscrupulous, will take advantage of the fact that if they write the contract lower than the claim, you assume you're saving that money, right? But they're not. You're going to spend the same exact money as you would had you signed it for 20, because the insurance company's paying 15, you're paying 5. If you sign a contract for 15,000, follow me on this. If the contract says 15,000 and the insurance company sent you 10, and you go to file for depreciation, the insurance company is going to want to see a copy of the contract to release that depreciation. They're also going to want to see a copy, like we talked about before, of your deductible check that it had been paid to the contractor, so that they'll release that 5,000 additional in depreciation, or whatever the number may be in your case. But if the contract says 15, they've given you 10, and your deductible's 5, they're just going to simply tell you to pay your deductible. There's the 15, pay the contractor. They're done at that point. They owe you no more money. You didn't spend it. So it's just, that sounds simple, but if you didn't know, and the contractor is kind of saying, hey, we're going to save you $5,000, you sign the contract for 15, well, and you'll get the 5 back later, you know what I'm saying, from the insurance company, and you didn't, really didn't have to spend any money. Doesn't work that way, guys. Moving on, thing that's important is Texas, as of September 1st, 2019, House Bill 2102 passed, and it requires us as contractors to put in 12-point bold print on the front of every contract, and it specifically spells out the deductible, right? I'll just read it to you real quick. Texas law requires a person insured under a property insurance policy to pay any deductible applicable to a claim made under the policy. It's a violation of this Texas law for a person or business paid wholly or partly from the proceeds of a property insurance claim to knowingly allow the insured person to fail to pay, or assist the insured person's failure to pay the applicable insurance deductible. Right? So we were forced to put that on there. That's how serious it is. That, and there's some other things associated to that new law that passed. We can get into at a later time. But one more important thing I want to make sure you guys know on a contract, read the back, right? If the sales rep or whoever's sitting there asking you to sign something can't give you 5 minutes to read this patiently for you to feel comfortable with what you're signing, it's probably not somebody you want to do business with, because it's very little to ask, right? That they just sit there patiently, and it gives you a chance to read them or gauge their personality and their patience level, because you're going to have many more interactions with this person through the course of the project, and this is just the beginning, and you're going to eventually hand them over money. So you want to really kind of know who you're working with, and that's one good way to kind of press it a little bit to see, how they react to that. Going into this, cancellations, right? So you should have with this a 3-day notice of cancellation that comes with this, and whatever they're leaving you, that needs to be another document, an additional document. 3-day notice of cancellation, very important. And the back of the contract will have cancellation and assignments, some sort of paragraph explaining it. If that has a percentage where they can fill out a percentage, that in fact is an illegal contract. It's already been fought in court here in Texas, and the contractor lost, and it just needs to be a dollar amount. So I'm going to specify that real clear. I don't want to dive too deep into it. It cannot be a percentage. It needs to be an exact dollar amount. If you cancel after we've dropped material on the job site, we have the right, to recover restocking fees. Typically it's $1,500, $2,000 compensation for the time that we've gotten you all the way to the point. Now, once work has begun, you generally can't cancel a contract at all. Like if we rip the roof off and you, for some reason, decide against doing it, that's crazy. But you would still be obligated to the contract, if that makes sense. But anyway, I digress. So verify there's no percentage, that it's a dollar amount for a cancellation, that you have a cancellation document in the folder with your paperwork. Roof color, pick your roof color, guys. Make sure that's on the contract. That sounds trivial, but it's really not, because if you get the wrong roof color on your house, who's paying for that? Are you paying to have it replaced? Is the contractor paying for it to be replaced? Follow me? Keep up with emails, add the claim number. Make sure the claim number is on this contract, because again, it's an addendum to the scope. Any email correspondence, reference the claim number, specifying that it is part of a claim. Whether it be back and forth with the contractor or back and forth with the actual insurance company. That's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the videos. I hope they've helped you in some way, and feel free to reach out to us, subscribe, give us a follow on Facebook. Other than that, thank you very much.